All right. My name is Joanna, and I'll be taking you through a quick but grounding vinyasa practice this morning, or wherever you may be, maybe the afternoon or evening for you. So let's sit down in easy pose this morning and cross the legs. You can use a block on your sit bones, or you can use a pillow or a cushion, whatever works for you. Just get comfortable and grounded in your seat this morning. I chose to focus on grounding for this particular practice because so much of our world is so noisy and busy. And we often forget to take care of ourselves. And we know from Patanjali's first yama, ahimsa, of non-harm and non-violence. So much of that actually are actions and contexts that we bring into our own lives or don't bring into our own lives, right? So the first thing, in order to be able to take care of others and live in this world, we have to take care of ourselves. And part of that is actually standing still and grounding our bodies in stillness, and our mind as well, to give it that break that it so requires in this very, very busy world. And so I invite you again to take a seat in easy pose, and I'll get us started by reading a poem to you. It's called Walk Slowly. It only takes a reminder to breathe, a moment to be still, and just like that, something in me settles, softens, makes space for imperfection. The harsh voice of judgment drops to a whisper, and I remember again that life isn't a relay, that we will all cross the finish line, that waking up to life is what we were born for. And as many times as I forget, catch myself charging forward without even knowing where I'm going, that many times I can make the choice to stop, to breathe and be, and walk slowly into the mystery. And so today I invite you to stop, to move with me, and to breathe into your body, and hopefully have a bit of a reprise from this busy world. And we're going to take a couple moments to breathe deeply and sit still. So if you can sit in easy pose, put your hands in Dhyana Mudra with your right hand cupping your left, a pose for tranquility and relaxation. And close your eyes. Relax your shoulders. Let your spine be tall. And sink into your seat. And quiet your mind and your thoughts for just a couple moments. Now when you're ready, Take your last couple breaths. And expand into your chest and breathe out. And open your eyes. And we're going to meet on all fours. Move my cushion to the side. We've got everything ready, our blocks if we need them. And we're going to meet on all fours and move into a cat-cow. We're going to move into our cat exhaling. Exhale into your cow, slowly moving your body, wiggling around, making sure that your hands are grounded into the floor and as your feet. And exhaling. And inhale, arch your back, and look up. You can choose to keep on moving with your eyes open or closed, breathing and moving. And then we're going to press into our feet and into our hands and lift into downward dog, extending your back legs and aligning your hips, making sure that our, again, hands are grounded into the floor, and we're moving our sit bones up into the sky, and maybe lift your heels up and drop them down again with a little bit of a micro bend in your knees. You're going to make sure you're not going to overextend there. And then we're going to drop down with our knees on your exhale to the ground. And we're going to move into our first child's pose with your forehead on the ground and your arms forward in front of your head. Sink into the child's pose and know that this is a pose that you can always come back to during your movement to provide that stillness and that grounding as all parts are touching the ground. And if you're pregnant or need more help, just make sure you widen your stance a little bit. And now lift up your inhale. And we're going to step forward into a mountain pose, Tadasana. And we're going to start with our movement. And like I said, we are going to move with our breath and move our bodies to be able to then sit in stillness afterwards. And make sure your feet are a distance apart. And we're going to sweep our arms up and forward fold with an exhale. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back into a lunge. And sweep your arms up with an inhale. And we're going to sit here for 2 breaths. Make sure you drop your shoulders. Relax them a little bit. Sink into the ground with your hips. And ensuring that your forward lunged left foot and knee are not bending to the sides. And we're going to put our arms down on the exhale. And we're going to let our left foot meet our right foot in plank position. And we're going to exhale down to the ground. If you choose, you can go down to your knees. And then we're going to put our hands out, into baby cobra pose. And lift you and arch up, lift your back up. And then we're gonna put our feet and hands next to our body, and we're gonna lift up into downward dog. And we can do that transition through bent knees to ease up on our backs and our hips. We're gonna move into downward dog. And just breathe here for 3 breaths. Ensuring that our shoulders, again, are not reaching up to our ears, but relaxed. Making sure our face is also in a pose that's not stressed. Relaxing that face and putting a smile on your face. And then we're gonna move our right foot forward into the lunge on the right foot. And sweep your arms up, making sure that your left leg is lifting off that ground in a lunging position, and our right knee is squared off. And we sink in with those shoulders, again, not rising up, but relaxing. And 2 breaths here. Inhale and exhale as we sink deeper. Now, wherever is comfortable for you, wherever feels good, is the good place for you to be. And on the exhale, we're going to sweep our arms up, down to the ground, and our left leg is going to meet our right leg on the front of the mat. Just the wrist apart. We're going to sweep back up, look at the sky, and stand in Tadasana. And close our eyes. Breathe in. Breathe out. And feel the ground below our feet. Making sure that our toes to our heels are rooted in the ground on our mat. And we're going to sweep our arms up, forward fold. Apologies, my wall is really close to me. And we're going to inhale, halfway lift, exhale, down, forward fold. And we're going to move our right leg back. But this time, instead of lunge, we're going to have our foot be in a 45-degree angle, and we're going to move into warrior 1, sweeping your arms up and making sure that that foot and the leg is nicely positioned on the mat. Squaring those hips forward, sweeping those arms up in the inhale. And as you exhale, sink into the pose. Look forward. And on the inhale, you lift your arms up. On the exhale, we sink into warrior 2. We sweep our arms back down into warrior 2. And look with our right hand behind us, reaching back, and our left hand reaching forward. We look beyond our hand, that drishti point. And inhale, exhale into your pose. I'm going to spend another 2 big breaths sinking into our warrior 2. And on the next inhale, we're going to do a reversed warrior, reaching your right arm to your hamstrings or your calf or your knee, wherever is comfortable, and sweeping back and looking upwards with the left arm above us, leaning into the pose. And now sweeping our arms down on the exhale, we meet the left foot to the right. and move through a vinyasa. Exhale to chaturanga. And inhale to upward dog. And with our feet, we curl them up and move into downward dog as our sit bones and our back and our hips sweep up. And tippy toes to sinking back with our heels into the ground. And we breathe again in downward dog. Grounding our bodies with our feet and our hands into that ground that holds us. We're going to move our right foot up. And again, as with our left, we're going to transition that left foot into a 45-degree angle. We're going to sweep our arms up into warrior one. And sit here for 2 breaths. And then inhale to lift your hands up and exhale into warrior two with our left hand reaching back and our right reaching forward and looking forward with our eyes into the distance beyond our right arm and right fingertips. Making sure we're not leaning to one side or another. I'm making sure our spine is straight. And we inhale and we exhale and sink our bodies into the pose with our hips squared off and our shoulders not creeping up to our ears, but dropping them into a nice position, relaxed. And on the exhale, we're going to move into our reverse warrior with the left hand anywhere on your back leg, reaching as your right hand reaches to the sky above you and you look up. And on the exhale, we're going to float back. And our left foot is going to meet our right on the front of the mat. And we're going to meet back into Dasana. Just taking a moment to breathe in this, in the mountain pose that is, our most natural pose that we do. And the next inhale, we're going to sit into Uttanasana chair pose with our hands and arms reaching forward and our bums in that chair, reaching back, and then sinking into a bit of a squat. And inhale deeply. And on the exhale, we're going to forward fold. Inhale, upward lift. Exhale, move your right leg to the back of the mat in a 45-degree angle, and we're going to meet in warrior one. On the exhale, move to warrior two. On the inhale, we reach up. Sorry. On the exhale, we go into reverse warrior. And inhale. And on the exhale, we go to extended side angle where you can put your left arm on your knee or on a block or to the ground, whatever is most natural for you. And the right arm sweeps forward above your head. And you can choose to look upwards beyond your arm. And as we breathe, we sink on the exhale into the pose and make sure that we have a straightened line of our spine and aren't curving in places. And we're going to inhale to warrior two and exhale on the sweeping our arms to the ground. Our last vinyasa of the day. Our left foot is going to meet our right at the back in a plank pose. And we're going to do a chaturanga on the exhale. Sweep up on the cobra, on the upward dog, and then curl our feet to the downward dog. And breathe here for 3 breaths. And we're going to have our right foot go to the front of the mat, left foot 45-degree angle, and we sweep our arms up and inhale into warrior 1. On the exhale, move into warrior 2, sweeping arms down, left arm reaching to the back and the right arm reaching to the front, and our spine in the middle, making sure our shoulder blades are pulling back. And on the exhale, we go to reverse warrior. And again to extended side angle. And remembering we can always use our block to put our hand there, or we can use our elbow on the knee and our left arm sweeps above and we look to the sky, and making sure that our knee on the right, the forward bent leg, is not bending in or curling in, and it's in good position with our foot. And we inhale into warrior 2 and sweep down to the ground. Have our left foot meet our right. And we halfway lift and exhale. Sweep arms up. And move into Tadasana. And breathe into your body in this still moment. Now we're going to move our feet hip width apart. We're going to move those feet to make sure that they're at a 45-degree angle. And we're going to move into the yogic squat or malasana before we meet back down on the mat fully. Now, I really like using a block because my hips and back are really tight. But you can move down into a squat position with your hands in prayer pose. I will use the block, and I encourage you, if you're pregnant or you have tight hips or it's just not happening for you today, use that block or 2 blocks if you need it. And we're going to meet here and take a moment to breathe. Inhale and exhale deeply as we get closer to that ground. Now, you can remove the block. We're actually going to just go straight onto the mat. If you need some help to roll down, you can hold on to your knees. What we're going to do is put our legs straight forward into forward fold. I'm going to sweep up on the inhale and exhale to meet your hands, fingers to your toes, or maybe to your ankles, or maybe to your calves, or even to your knees. Wherever you're at, it's all good. In this moment, relax your back body. Make sure that you're not overextending your knees, and there's a little micro bend to protect your knees. And just breathe. You're gonna inhale up, sweep your arms up, and we're gonna move our legs into butterfly pose. We have our feet, palms of our feet meeting, and our knees nicely separated. We're gonna put our hands on our ankles and on our feet. If you need, you can sit on a block if that helps your hips and gives it a little bit more space. You're gonna make sure that your back is tall and that you're not putting any pressure on your neck or your back and straining here. And we're just gonna sit into this. And if the forward fold and butterfly is a place where you're comfortable, on the exhale, breathe in. As you can see, I've got extremely tight hips, and this is as far as it will take me. And just sit here for 2 breaths as you settle into the butterfly pose. We're going to bring our knees together, our toes together, and we're going to slowly roll down. You can hold onto your knees if that's helpful. Roll down to the ground. And as all parts of our body now meet the floor, we're going to do a bit of a twist. And we're going to start lifting our right leg up into a 45-degree angle, and we're going to twist to the left with our right arm over here, either extended or upwards. You can hold on to your right knee with your left hand and make sure you're in a place where you're comfortable. And breathe. Now you're going to twist back out. This might not be a pose for you if you're pregnant or you've got some back issues. You can simply hold on to your knee here. You're going to put your right foot down. You're going to lift the left foot, and you're going to bring it over to the right with your right arm. Again, your left arm extended to the other side. If this is not comfortable, again, if you're pregnant, make sure you're just lying on your back there. And deep breaths here. And we're gonna meet both our legs now up tall. I mean, not up tall, up together, 45-degree angle. And we're gonna stretch them out. We're gonna put our left leg down, right leg down, right arm, left arm down into Shavasana, into our last pose where all the pieces of our body, all our limbs are going to meet the ground. And take a deep breath in and a deep breath out as your back and your arms and your legs sink into the ground. And another deep breath. And an exhale into the ground. And I invite you to lie still in Shavasana for the next couple moments. I'll be sitting in easy pose, but you please stay in Shavasana for another couple of minutes to feel that grounding energy. And take a deep breath in as you start wiggling your feet and your toes and your hands and your fingers. Tiny movements to awaken your limbs. And perhaps you open your eyes. You can roll to the side and bolster yourself up into sitting position. Thank you so much for joining me this morning or this evening, whatever time it is for you. I do hope that you have an amazing rest of your day or night, and that this practice brought a little bit of breath and a little bit of stillness to your day. Thank you.